Welcome back to another episode of BestowCast, or is this G.I. Joe cast at this point? This is a continuation of Yo Joe June that expanded into Yo Joe July and is now Yo Joe August. However, this is the last Yo Joe film that I will be talking about at this time. Then we can go back to our regular scheduled programming, whatever that is. This is the one I've been kind of dreading getting to. This is G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe original, I think it says, or G.I. Joe Origins, that's it, yeah. G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes. Came out in 2021. This kind of came out around, of course, the whole pandemic thing. Riley and I had seen this in the theaters. We had gone to the theaters, as they used to say when they were younger, to go see G.I. Joe, and or G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, I should be specific with, and the projector broke and we ended up not seeing G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, and instead opted to either see the Jungle Cruise movie with Dwayne Johnson, which I talked about Dwayne being in Jungle Cruise, not only Jungle Cruise, but being in G.I. Joe Retaliation last week. Check out that episode. Like, share, subscribe. Eat Cheetos in the moonlight, and don't forget to lick off that Cheeto dust, because that's the best part of the Cheetos. So anyway, we had a choice of going to see Jungle Cruise with Dwayne Johnson or going to see Black Widow, and we chose to see Black Widow. Even though I had already seen Black Widow once before, I got to see Black Widow a second time. But they also gave us a pass to come back and see it at a different time. I think it's the same theater. I just recently went and saw not G.I. Joe. God, I got G.I. Joe on the brain. I just recently saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Well, not recently, as in I saw it like the opening week or next week, the following week or whatever. And I think it was the exact same theater. And I went in there to, here's a little, I'm going to derail for a little bit and talk about Indiana Jones a second. Not necessarily just Indiana Jones, just the theater that I saw it in, which I believe is the exact same theater that we went to see Snake Eyes, which broke down. And I went in there during a matinee time going, I'm going to save a couple of bucks. I'm going to go in during matinee. Still $12 for whatever reason. It was still $12 to go see this movie in the middle of the afternoon. Went to the theater, the auditorium that it was being aired in. And of course, they have seats blocked out because something is leaking from the ceiling and just dripping on the seats. So there's a whole area of seats that you couldn't sit at. And then the movie started and they didn't turn off the lights. So my enjoyment of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was just a little bit not as vibrant as it should have been because they couldn't turn the lights off for whatever damn reason. But I didn't come here to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Maybe I'll save that for a future episode. If you want to hear me talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, comment wherever you can comment and let me know. Moving on. So we eventually did go back to see Snake Eyes in the theater, and I don't know. I'm just going to put this out there. I didn't like this movie. I wanted to like this movie. I wanted it to just be like Retaliation. Just do G.I. Joe stuff. And I already, it already had a black eye going in there where it's like, okay, we can't have an actor who can't speak and can't show his face. So we gotta rewrite, we gotta recharacterize Snake Eyes so that you can see his face and he talks. We can't base a movie off a guy you can't see. He can't emote and he can't talk. What's the point of this movie? Don't make it. Make him a team member. So it was basically supposed to be a movie about him and Storm Shadow, just the origins of him and Storm Shadow and how they became buddies. Obviously, this does not tie into Retaliation or G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. In those movies, they took from basically the comic book lore, or it might have been cartoon lore as well. Usually, the lore is that Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow grew up together as children. Is generally the consensus amongst films. This one, they are 30-year-old men. I don't know how old he was. I guess he was supposed to be early 20s maybe. They changed this whole dynamic between him and Storm Shadow. They meet up when they're much older, and Snake Eyes is kind of a dick. You you're treated to a little like prelude where his father was killed by an assassin who happened to, like, his thing was that he would carry dice with him, loaded dice at that, and his victims were allowed to roll the dice to save their lives. However, if they rolled snake eyes, he would kill them. And of course, his father stowed his son away in a closet or in a room and told him to hide while this was happening. And of course, he was given a chance and he rolled snake eyes and he dies. We end up with a character who has vengeance in his heart. He just wants to get revenge. He wants to find the person who killed his father, or maybe anybody that's linked to him, and he doesn't give a what. He's going to do it. And on top of that, he's taken on the code name of Snake Eyes, the thing that killed his father. Convoluted as all shit. It's like, why do we have... Just why? I don't know why we had to explain that away. Why we have to explain code names away. Sometimes there's deep meaning in the code names, sometimes there isn't. But even still, like, to be named after the thing that killed your father, the reason that your father died. You follow him where he's kind of doing this kind of like street fighting. He's kind of a street fighter. He just goes in and he defies all odds, I guess, and he wins his matches, and I guess that's how he's making his living. And he's tracked down by this guy. I'm pretty sure he's like a part of the Yakuza. He's a part of the Yakuza. No, he's not a part of the Yakuza. He gets Snake Eyes into a operation that's run by the Yakuza, and he claims that he knows who killed Snake Eyes' father, but he wants him to befriend Storm Shadow and become a part of Storm Shadow's clan, I guess you could say, family / clan. I think they're kind of interchangeable as far as the movie goes. And he does so. Something happens that the Yakuza is going to kill Storm Shadow. I'm gonna overview. I'm gonna breeze by this a little bit. I'm not gonna go in deep detail about it. If you get a chance to watch it. But if this suffices enough. Just know that something happens that the Yakuza wants Storm Shadow dead. They want Snake Eyes to pull the trigger and kill him, and this. It leads to another convoluted point where, like, Snake Eyes saves Storm Shadow, so therefore Storm Shadow brings Snake Eyes and makes him a part of the clan. And you kind of go through, he's spying on, Snake Eyes is spying on this clan, and he's reporting back to this other guy. And just so he can get revenge, this is a revenge story. And if you know G.I. Joe, if you know like the storylines between G.I. Joe, like basically him and Snake Eye, or him and Storm Shadow, are always kind of at odds with each other. They don't really see eye to eye, Snake eye to eye. There's rough goings between the two of them. So this is kind of establishing that, so that I guess, because at the time they were going to go for a film franchise. They were going to go for a rebooted film franchise at that, and this was going to serve as the first film in that rebooted franchise. He's not a likable character. Like, Snake Eyes is like probably one of the most popular characters in the toy line. Even to the point where, like, we get 2, 3, 4 Snake Eyes a year. Hasbro just pushes them out, redecos and everything of Snake Eyes, because that's what sells. He's that popular of a character that they'll pop out like 50 Snake Eyes, but like maybe 1 or 2 Dukes. We get like a Cobra Commander in the beginning, and no, like not very many like different variations of Cobra Commander as far as the toy line goes. But then like Snake Eyes, there's always, like I said, several Snake Eyes per year in the toy, because like I said, it sells. It's a seller. So of course they're gonna try to put this as their movie. We're going to centralize this character, and it's obvious, like, once they did the rest of the series, he's probably going to be a major role from here on out. He's not likable. Even by the end of the film, he is not likable. He's not a likable character. He's not an enjoyable character. I mean, I guess, like, I would have liked it where it's like, he has this whole idea of revenge, and he's motivated by revenge, and he sees that he's wrong, and by the end he changes that. Not really. He's kind of a to Storm Shadow. He gets accepted into the clan for whatever reasons. He has no reason, no way to prove himself, but for whatever reason they bring him into this clan, and he's not only accepted in this clan, but he somehow outranks Storm Shadow to the degree that Storm Shadow gets booted from the clan, and he hates Snake Eyes for this. And hate Snake Eyes. He's an ass. He's not a good character. Why? Who signed off on this script? No way. Storm Shadow becomes, spoilers, but post credits, he gets approached by the Baroness to become Cobra. He's joining the bad guys. He's going to join the bad guys to teach not only Snake Eyes a lesson, but his clan a lesson. No. I like Storm Shadow a lot. Storm Shadow was more likable than Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was just a turd, and this guy was Storm Shadow was likable. I liked. I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but I think it's Akiko. I liked her character. Just kind of weird that she's kind of like almost kind of a sister to Storm Shadow, but again she sides with Snake Eyes. We get Baroness and we get Scarlet. Scarlet was kind of a stretch for me, but Baroness was all right, kind of cool. She was working with the bad guy. Of course, the whole thing with the bad guy was that he wanted, he was a part of the clan at one time, and I guess he was basically booted out and shunned, and he wants to. I forget what the name of the MacGuffin is, but it's this crystal. It was like the heart of something. Oh, please, I'll look it up.
Please hold the line.
I didn't want to dive down the rabbit hole reading while on hold. It's just called the Jewel in most of the write-ups. Wikipedia just says the Jewel. I'm just going to say the Jewel. Which basically is like Jewel of the Sun. Right in my eye line. After all this looking it up and skimming, and it's right in my eye line. The Jewel of the Sun, which is kind of this item of the clan, and basically like this guy wants to steal the Jewel of the Sun for himself, and it's revealed that he once he has it, he has possession. He's got powers of the Fire Nation, and he's able to shoot fire out of his ass, if I'm allowed to say that. Snake Eyes double crosses the clan. He double crosses Storm Shadow. He gives the bad guy the jewel. The bad guy, of course, was working with Baroness, who kind of wants it for Cobra. We don't really know Cobra. We're hinted at Cobra. We see the Cobra symbols everywhere, but it's assumed that it's either a secret society or just now building, or they're not exactly to power as of yet. But Baroness is kind of headhunting and getting artifacts. We'll call back to G.I. Joe. They're getting artifacts that should be in a museum, and they're gonna give it to Cobra instead. What a crossover! We should. I could do that. We should do that with the toys. We got the Hasbro did the Indiana Jones toy line, and we can cross it over with G.I. Joe. And I mean, I've already seen people using like the Ark of the Covenant for G.I. Joe and Snake Eye. Anyway, sorry, got derailed there. So yeah, the bad guy gets control of the gem. Everybody ends up teaming up with everybody else. I guess Snake Eyes realizes that he did bad, he did wrong. We do get some pretty nice ninja fight scenes. We get one on the highway on this truck hauling cars, which again is a decent fight scenes. I can't complain about the fight scenes. The fight scenes are pretty well done, but they end up having to team up against this bad guy. Even Baroness ends up having to team up against the bad guy, because she knows that she's getting screwed out of the deal. She's not getting that jewel for Cobra. And we get actually pretty decent scenes where we get the team that's split in half, and we got the male team, which includes I believe the Hardmaster and Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and then we get the girl side where we get Storm Shadow's mom, Baroness, and Akiko, and and Scarlet, they all team together, and we kind of get the little fight scenes where they're separate, and then they all team up and they fight together. Really like that. A real good use of girl power, where it's, usually movies where they do the girl power stuff, they kind of dumb down like the male characters. I like that they didn't do that for this movie. That everybody was on equal footing, and yay, yes. Yes, more of that. Great use of Baroness, where Baroness is teaming up with the good guys. She's kind of fighting with the good guys and doesn't really want to fight with the good guys. Not really, it's a conflict of interest, but there gets to be a point, this is a PG-13 movie. PG-13 movies usually allow you to use the F word once, unlike YouTube. The one use of the F word in this movie is her realizing that she's fighting on the good guys team, and she doesn't really need to be there at all. She just says F this and just walks away. And funny moment. Seems in character. I kudos to that. I like that. It was a good thing in a crappy movie. So they save the day. They get the gem. They get the gemstone. They get the jewel. Storm Shadow gets banished from the clan, so he leaves. The clan accepts Snake Eyes, even though he's a turd sandwich. And Bob's your uncle. Henry Godling was Snake Eyes. Despite that, he did best with what the role had given him. I can't fault the actor, but if they made more movies, I don't know. I was gonna say bring him back, but if you bring him back, then it implies that this movie is canon. It's not his fault that this movie sucks. The script sucks. But Henry Golden did good. I really like the actor that played Tommy. It's Andrew. Forgive me, but it's Andrew Koji, 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 I believe. Andrew Koji did really well. Oh boy, Baroness Ursula Corbaro. I really liked the Baroness in this movie. I can't argue with it. Samantha Weaving as Scarlet. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Scarlet was necessary in this movie, but for what she was given, she was fine. It was okay. Pre-end credits, right before the end credits, it is revealed, and this is this is where having Scarlet in the movie kind of rubs me the wrong way, where it's like she goes to Snake Eyes and she's like, oh, there's sealed files about your father, and your father was a Joe, and he was killed basically in the line of duty. I guess he was doing spy work or whatever. Bullshit, convoluted bullshit. And apparently in the world of G.I. Joe, if your father is a G.I. Joe, then that just instantly makes you a G.I. Joe. You're now a G.I. Joe yourself. Also on the opposite side, the clan finds this this helmet, this gear that was supposed to be, this is only limited to the clan or whatever. But Snake Eyes, even though he was a turd sandwich throughout the entire movie, the clan gives him this armor. Did he even use it in the movie? I don't know if he ever used it actually in the movie. He just uses it pre-credits, and then that's his ninja outfit that Snake Eyes to have worn. Bullshit, some more, yet some more. And then the movie thankfully ends. What else can I really say? I can't believe that I actually bought the DVD to this. It's rare that I don't like a movie. I usually find something somewhere that I can at least enjoy the movie. But it just came down to that Snake Eyes was just not a likable character. And I just could not get into the movie because I did not like him. I'm like, he's supposed to be the hero of the story. Everything goes his way. And he's just a crap. He's just crap. He's a bad person. He's bad Snake Eyes. When I knew I was going to do an overview for BestowCast, I was trying to find it on streaming, and none of these movies are on streaming. Of course, I guess probably if I bought Paramount Plus, I probably could stream it, but no, it's not really carried on any streaming services. The only one of these movies that is on streaming is actually Rise of Cobra was available on streaming on the YouTube's at that. The rest of them you had to either buy or own physically. And I own Rise of Cobra and Retaliation on DVD, on physical media, and I wasn't going to buy a Paramount Plus subscription. And luckily, in the bin was a 3-pack, which included Rise of Cobra, Retaliation, and Snake Eyes for like $7. And I was like, all right, I just pay the $7 instead of the stupid subscription for like one movie, because I probably won't watch anything else on Paramount Plus. I'm starting to be so against these streaming services. It sucks. It sucks what they do. I now own Snake Eyes, and I probably will never watch it ever again. I say, as I probably will end up watching it sometime in the future. But yeah, I don't know. It's the good thing to Gleam is I guess I liked Tommy, Storm Shadow. I liked some of the fight scenes were pretty good. I don't think this fight scenes were as good as like the Himalayas in Retaliation, but they were decent. I didn't really like, again, I don't like the Snake Eyes character. Scarlet was just there to be there. Baroness was a decent character. I don't know. I don't know how they plan to ever make this into a series. Well, I mean, I can see right in front of me, budget was 88 to 110 million, and box office was 40 million. Hard to say because that was also during the pandemic, and a lot of movies didn't do very well. I think we have a weird standard now where what's success, and all ties to finances, and I don't know post pandemic if we can do that. But anyway, it didn't do well in theaters, from my understanding. Too, with the new series that's coming out, there, we're getting GI Joes and Transformers crossing over. In my opinion, we have yet to have a good Transformers movie. We have yet to have a good GI Joe movie, but we're gonna go forward and just mush them together, and just go nuts and cram them together, because we can't service a story for Snake Eyes. We can't do Snake Eyes good enough, but we're gonna mash two teams together that are not gonna have equal screen time to explain their backgrounds or anything, and just mush them all together. I mean, we didn't really have a good. I don't think we had a good Roadblock backstory. Not that Dwayne Johnson would ever return the role. I don't think they did Duke. I think they did Duke dirty. I don't think they did Duke very well. It's sad that we're going to get a kind of a Transformers mashup, and it's going to be successful, because Transformers fans don't care, or at least that's what I've seen when I read stuff online. The Transformers fans don't care about whether or not the movies are good or bad. They just want to see Transformers do Transformers things. I guess I could understand that. I want to see Fast and Furious do Fast and Furious things. I don't necessarily give a shit about the story. But they don't. And the other thing that I've seen with Transformers fans is like, the mentality is usually like, if we don't go see this, they won't ever make this again. I kind of get that, but it kind of sucks. I'd rather them make a good Transformers movie than 17 bad ones. And I kind of feel the same way about G.I. Joe. And unfortunately, I feel like once we mush the G.I. Joes and Transformers all together in one universe, it's going to be lacking a little bit in storyline. Not everybody's going to get the proper service to story. And again, judging by what we've gotten so far, they don't give a crap about story. They just want a popcorn flick and spectacle. Fine, I guess. We'll see when it comes out. When it comes out, I will try to put a pin on this and try to remember what I said in this podcast. And when that becomes a reality, I will try to come back and see if I changed my views since then. But I'm an old man, and I'm crotchety, and I get mad at kids in my yard, so probably not. Anyway, and our scale of 1 to cats, 1 being the best, 3 being the worst, and then there's just cats. This was a tough one. I almost want to rank this with Cats. I know that Cats is supposed to be the absolute worst. It's supposed to be the absolute dog crap of anything, of any of these movies on the ranking. And I almost want to put this on par with Cats, because it's just, I don't. I mean, I guess if I had a choice of watching Cats or rewatching Snake Eyes, I guess I would choose to rewatch Snake Eyes because I would never want to watch Cats. So I guess with that being said, that I'm just going to have to put this in the number 3 tier, which would be the worst tier above Cats. So currently it's number 1 spot is Resolute, number 2 spot is Retaliation, number 3 spot is G.I. Joe the movie, also Rise of Cobra, and G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes. How did I do with this ranking? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you really think I should see Cats? Should I just not be not be a hypocrite and rank it to something? Because my luck is I watch Cats and I absolutely love it, and it would be the best movie ever made, although I highly doubt it. So subscribe wherever you can subscribe, like wherever you can like. Please share and do whatever it takes. If you like BestowCast or you like Bestow TV or you like anything that we produce, please show your support and help us grow. It's been, according to my data, I've just reached 9 years on my YouTube. 9 years of producing a lot of videos, a lot of content, and technically it's 10 years because I know. When I started doing the interview stuff, it was on a different channel, and I decided to separate the channel and have a Bestow TV specific channel. So it's been 9 and or 10 years of Bestow TV content. Please help support the channel wherever you can. Other than that, make sure you eat your cheddar cheese in the moonlight. Make sure to save that Dorito dust on your fingertips because that's the best part. And I will catch you